The biodome's artificial sun cast long shadows across the Zenthri research station. As Sakura collapsed against the crystalline wall, her lungs burning with each breath, the cough that tore through her chest echoed across the observation chamber. As she watched through blurred vision as the alien cub, no larger than a terrier, but covered in iridescent scales, froze mid-step for 3 cycles. Sakura had been studying the creature. The Zenthri had captured it from the forest moon of Theros 9, a world where evolution had taken a peculiar turn. Every species there possessed a form of empathic resonance, a biological quirk that allowed them to sense the emotional and physical states of other beings. The galactic community found it fascinating. Sakura found it heartbreaking. The cub had been separated from its pack. She'd seen the recordings, hunters stunning the adults, taking the juvenile for research purposes. Standard protocol for the Zenthri Empire, who viewed lesser species as resources to be cataloged and exploited. But humans remembered what it felt like to be underestimated. Sakura coughed again. The Martian flu hitting her system harder than the medics had predicted. She'd refused evacuation, unwilling to leave the cub alone with researchers who saw it as specimen TX447 rather than a living, feeling creature. The cub's luminescent eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle on its elongated head, fixed on her. Then something remarkable happened. It moved, not away, as its survival instincts should have dictated, not toward the food dispenser or the shelter of its artificial den. The cub crossed the chamber in deliberate, careful steps, its 6 legs carrying it directly to Sakura's crumpled form. She tried to wave it away, not wanting to infect it with whatever human pathogens might cross the species barrier. But the creature was determined. It pressed its head against her chest, just above her heart, and a low thrumming vibration emanated from its body. The sound reminded Sakura of her grandmother's old earth stories of cats purring, of dogs whimpering in sympathy when their humans hurt. But this was something more. The cub's scales began to pulse with a soft blue light, synchronized with her labored breathing. "Hey there, little one," Sakura whispered, her voice raw. "I'm okay, just a bad flu." The cub pressed harder, and Sakura felt warmth spreading through her chest. Not heat exactly, but a soothing sensation that seemed to ease the tightness in her lungs. Through the observation window, she could see Lord running toward the chamber, his dark eyes wide with concern. Lord was a human traitor, one of the few who'd earned enough respect in Zenthri space to move freely. He'd been the one to alert Sakura about the cub's capture, knowing she worked in xenobiology and might be able to help. He'd also been the one bringing her meals, checking on her when she refused to leave her post. The airlock hissed open. "Sakura," medical said. "You'd collapsed." Lord stopped, staring at the scene before him. "Don't." Sakura managed. "Don't startle it." But Lord understood. He'd spent years among the stars, learning that intelligence came in many forms, that compassion wasn't uniquely human, though humans had a particular talent for recognizing it in others. He knelt slowly, several feet away. "It's protecting you. It thinks I'm hurt," Sakura said. "The Thracian species, they care for their sick. It's instinct." "No." Lord shook his head, watching the cub's scales shift through colors blue to violet to a deep, protective crimson. "That's not instinct. Look at its posture. It's guarding you." He was right. The cub had positioned itself between Sakura and the door, its body tense, ready to defend despite being a fraction of Lord's size. Sakura coughed again, and the cub's thrumming intensified. Through her delirium, she felt something else, a presence in her mind. Not words but emotions, concern, determination, a fierce, inexplicable loyalty. "When I first got sick," Sakura whispered, "I thought about leaving. Thought the cub would be better off without me disrupting the observations." She laughed weakly. "But I stayed. Not for science, just because it seemed wrong to abandon something alone and scared." Lord moved closer, carefully, extending his hand. The cub's eyes tracked him but didn't show aggression. "The Zenthri don't get it," he said. "They think humans are weak because we feel too much, because we attach ourselves to things we barely understand." "Maybe we are weak," Sakura said. "No." Lord smiled as the cub allowed him to touch its head, the scales warm and smooth. "We're strong enough to be weak." strong enough to care when it's inconvenient. This little one recognizes that. The chamber's medical scanner beeped as it analyzed Sakura's vitals. Her fever was breaking, the Martian flu running its course. But the cub remained pressed against her, unwilling to move. Over the next hours, Lord brought blankets, water, and medication. The cub watched him with those triple eyes, slowly learning that he was safe, that he was pack. When Sakura finally slept, the creature curled against her side. It's thrumming like a lullaby, the Zenthary researchers would later note in their reports that specimen TX447 displayed anomalous bonding behavior with human subject. They would recommend further study, more tests, continued captivity. But Sakura and Lord had other plans. 3 days later, when Sakura's strength returned, they smuggled the cub aboard Lord's ship. The Zenthary Empire was vast and powerful, but it had gaps that humans, with their stubborn idealism and creative problem-solving, had learned to exploit. As the ship broke atmosphere, heading toward the free colonies beyond Zenthary space, Sakura held the cub in her arms. It had grown bolder, more playful, but still pressed its head to her chest whenever she seemed tired. "You know they'll call us thieves," Lord said from the pilot's seat. "Let them," Sakura replied, scratching behind the cub's auditory ridges. "Humans have been stealing freedom for centuries, for ourselves and for anyone else brave enough to trust us." The cub thrummed its agreement, and in the infinite dark of space, 3 souls to human, 1 alien flew toward home, because that's what humanity did best: recognize suffering, refuse to accept it, and fight like hell to make things right, even when it was inconvenient, especially then.